Hey there, it's Derek from naturalpop.com. Happy Movember 3rd. Thanks for coming back. Here's mustache number 3 in the Movember series. It's kind of villainish. What do you think? So originally I was just going to grow a mustache for Movember and raise some money. And then I decided, well, maybe I'll work on my video skills, make a short little video every day. Hopefully there's some humor in there. And then it turned into this thing where I started making mustaches. So I am on number 3, I think, of a series of 30 different mustaches that I'm going to wear while making these videos. And we'll think of something fun to do with them afterwards. Today I want to talk to you about a sort of a silent killer. One of the top 10 leading causes of death for men is suicide. And what goes hand in hand with that usually is the big D, the D word. Before we begin, I'm going to go ahead and give myself the mustache exemption, by which I mean I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm barely qualified to wear this mustache. So don't think of this as advice, medical advice, think of it as, kind words from a friend. The big D, depression. I have to admit, I really hate that word. I dislike it a lot, let's say. I have no doubt that there are people who are clinically depressed. But I think in our culture we've called anybody who's not feeling good being depressed. The issue here is having a condition that affects you so much that you can't go on. Your depression, quote, depression is so deep you can't get out of it by yourself, and you feel the only recourse is suicide. So let's talk about depression for a little bit. So based on my own personal experience of having episodes of not feeling very joyful about life, living in, what I would call pain or suffering in my own head for times, having been called depressed, what I've learned through this is that most of it has to do with what I think of the world, how I see the world, and how I see my place in the world and the possibilities that are open to me. And I would probably be the first one to say that being pissed off, being depressed, being unhappy about the way things are going in our world is a totally normal reaction. And maybe a healthy reaction to that would be to be proactive and to do something to change that. But if you honestly feel inside that there's no joy and you can't see a way out of it, that's the time that you really need to take some action. And I think the first line of action is talking to somebody. And it doesn't have to be a doctor or counselor or therapist. It doesn't have to be your best friend. It doesn't have to be your wife. It could be all of those. It could be any of those. But it's whoever you feel comfortable talking to. Just to get whatever is inside you starting to come out, and for someone to hold a mirror up to you and say, hey dude, that's completely normal, or man, you're insane. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. That was a bad joke. But maybe your buddy will say, hey, I think you really need to talk to somebody who can deal with this. I can't. I'm just your friend. Maybe you need to talk to a counselor. So here's the deal. You don't have to go tell your buddy, hey, I'm feeling a little depressed. And you may never hear, hey, I'm feeling a little depressed from your buddy. It doesn't have to be that way, and you don't have to have a label on it. But if you're unhappy, if you're pissed off, if you're feeling humiliated, if you're feeling embarrassed, and it's messing you up to the point that someone else is going to say, hey, you're depressed. You need to take advantage of your friends. You need to take advantage of, kind strangers and speak it out. Don't wait. Don't wait. Alright, here's the part I know you've all been waiting for. Under mustache 3, but before I reveal that, had a kind of a change of heart. First I was just letting the top of my mow grow, and then I decided I was gonna add on some of these guys here. So what you'll see is a tiny bit coming down here. Listen. Oh yeah. But the bad news is I've only raised $40 for Movember. So if you can chip in, if you know somebody who can chip in, help me raise some money. Prostate cancer awareness, men's health awareness. Give it up.